Here's Brody Brazil.
Just wanted to make one thing very clear as I start this video. As I'm recording it right here, right now, I'm going off the reporting of Mark Topkin of the Tampa Bay Times. But by the time you're watching this video, it may be already officially announced by the Rays themselves that they'll be using Steinbrenner Field in Tampa as their home for the 2025 Major League Baseball season. Now, all of this, obviously, because of the damage done at Tropicana Field when Hurricane Milton made its way through Florida in early October, completely ripped the roof off, did some internal damage. Tampa and St. Pete just came out the other day to say that repairs would cost about $56 million, and even at the earliest, if they paid that money right now, the work would not be complete until the start of the 2026 Major League Baseball season. So the Rays knew they had to do something quickly. They had some other options. This one is a bit controversial with Pinellas County. I'll get to more of that in just a second as it relates to a vote and the Rays' potential brand new stadium. But as you look at this, the satellite image from Google Earth is the best I could do perspective-wise. That doesn't look bad, right? If it's good enough for the Yankees in spring training, it's probably good enough for the Tampa Bay Rays if it's just one regular season, right? In a pinch, if this is the worst that they're ever going to have to do, it's probably fine. But quite honestly, as you look at this, compared to Sutter Health Park in Sacramento, where the A's are scheduled to play 2025, 6, and 7, and maybe beyond, I mean, this looks like, honestly, a much better option just from the visuals alone. Okay, but back to the Rays here, and let's get to the basics of this facility. It's the spring training home of the New York Yankees, and from my understanding, the clubhouses, the covered pitching areas, the batting cages, everything is up to Major League standard. It opened up in 1996. There's 13 luxury suites, there's club areas, there's some cabana seating. It's also the summer home to the Tampa Tarpons of single-A baseball. Now, that's important because of the schedules that are already out for the single-A season and for the Major League season. We'll talk about the conflicts in just a second. But in spring, the Yankees play there, and in summertime, their single-A affiliate, the Tarpons, play there. This facility also went through $40 million worth of upgrades back in 2017. So again, I don't think there's too many complaints about how this place is kept and the amenities it has. It's definitely not a Major League venue or facility, but like I said before, maybe good enough for this single season. If this is the worst they're going to do, it will suffice for one season, and more on the one season part in just a second. Let's get to the good and then eventually the bad. Let's start with the good. Yeah, the team gets to stay in Tampa and the St. Pete market. Technically now in Tampa, so fans from the Tampa side don't have to cross the bridge to get over to St. Pete. In a way, this is a weird experiment by the Rays to see how fans respond to not crossing that bridge, and maybe to capitalize on more of the proper Tampa fan base than those who are in and around the St. Pete area. But the bottom line is, workers don't have to move, employees don't have to move, players don't have to move. This makes it so much more convenient for everybody involved. Fans, sponsors, you name it. The team essentially gets to stay in the exact same market. It's only a 21-mile drive, maybe 30-something minutes with traffic, between Steinbrenner and Tropicana. So it gives you good perspective that, no, this is not right around the corner. It's across the bay. But the bottom line is they get to stay in the area. The other option was maybe go all the way out to Orlando, play at the Disney complex, play at some other major league stadium like Atlanta or Miami when it was empty. But then that would cause so much schedule change. I mean, this is just the easiest, closest, most logistical option, and probably the best option in terms of capacity. This Steinbrenner Field seats 11,026 fans, and so that's the best sizable local option. Look, I don't know what the Rays' attendance was last year, but it's pretty close on average, I think, to that number. It's not a whole lot greater than that. It's not 37,000, I'll put it that way. So they are going to face some limitations in terms of the capacity. I guess that's more of the bad, but the good side is we're not talking about a 5,000-seat stadium or a 7,000-seat stadium. This one's got 11,000 plus, some luxury areas. We'll see what else they can do to make it work for 2025. This facility also would require only minimal upgrades to Major League standards, right? The Yankees play there. Even if it's spring, the Yankees send their $350 million payroll team to this facility, so it can't be in very bad shape. Only minimal upgrades required. There are some things they'll have to do to get it up to standards. I imagine for television, they'll have to wire it differently. They'll have to orchestrate some different stuff, but Minimal upgrades to get to Major League standards. That's a good thing. And how about the fact that the Rays and Yankees, two divisional rivals, were actually able to strike this deal? Now, again, it's not officially announced yet, but from what we understand, this is going to happen. I don't know that enemies become friends and they become frenemies like the Rays and Yankees, but now these two teams have this connection, and the Yankees are definitely helping the Rays out. Let's get to the bad. As I mentioned, the Tarpons play there. Now, they're a single-A team. I understand that might make you feel like, well, single-A, go play somewhere else. You're the new kids on the block or the younger kids on the block. But there's 42 dates. Not 14, not 24. 42 dates is more than half of a full home baseball season schedule for like the Rays, right? 81 at home. 42 of the dates of the 81 Rays home games scheduled for 2025, they conflict with current Tarpons games. So what do? You can't play doubleheaders. You know that. You already know that sharing the field and playing that many games, even if you move the dates, that's not going to be great for the playing surface there. Do the Tarpons just have to flat out find a new home? Would the Rays have to pay for that displacement? I mean, this part doesn't sound fun, but it's something to figure out. It's not impossible to figure out, but it's just not the easiest thing here. It's not like the Rays can move in and do whatever they want. Somebody's schedule or somebody's situation has to change here. Oh, yeah. Let's not bury the lead. The Rays would be playing their home games outdoors in the summertime in Florida. In the last 10 seasons of Tarpons games, Mark Topkin has done the math here to tell us that they averaged 6.4 postponed games per season, the Tarpons did, in the last decade. And so if you think about having to move schedules around for major league teams like that, that is not optimal. It just goes to show you why playing outdoors, even if they ripped the roof off the Tropicana Field and put in a drainage system, there are still problems. There's a reason that roof was on that stadium so that you didn't have to run into this situation for Major League Baseball. So it's going to be the Rays outdoors, and there are going to be some weather issues no matter what here for 2025 because all the options are outdoors for them. Okay, here's another complex one. At the surface level, you may not understand this, but going to Tampa means you're going to Hillsborough County, which is not Pinellas County of St. Petersburg. Now, Pinellas County wanted the Rays to try other options like playing in stadiums in Clearwater or Dunedin. The reason they wanted to do that was to keep the Rays in Pinellas County. Now, why is Pinellas County important here? Because they are one of the last steps in approving bonds that will float and fund the construction of the new Rays Stadium that they want to have groundbreaking on in January. They're about to vote on the future fate of the Rays Stadium, and some county officials have already said they're not happy with the fact that the Rays, even temporarily, are going to Hillsborough County and not staying in an option in Pinellas County, even though probably, the best option is in Hillsborough County in Tampa. So now you've got this drama because the Rays had to pick their best option and it's not in Pinellas County. Wow. I told you, I've been telling you for a while, this stuff goes way deeper than you think. We're only seeing the tip of the iceberg at first. Oh, the roof came off the Trop. They'll fix it. No big deal. Cover it up or take it off, whatever. Nope, that's a problem. Money's a problem. Timing's a problem. Politicians are a problem when they talk about baseball seasons and schedules, and then teams don't want to pay for anything, and leagues don't want to pay for anything. So it gets very spicy very quick. And then how about this as a bad for the Rays? Okay, so you're just entering the free agent season, the winter months for Major League Baseball. Try convincing anybody, and this is the same problem the Athletics are about to have for several more seasons now. Try getting free agents to want to come and play in a minor league ballpark. In this case, we think it's just for 1 year. For the A's, it's at least 3 years. This is going to affect their free agency situation that no matter what they're willing to spend, I don't know that it's enticing for players to come to this situation. Here are my takeaways. If this is only a 2025 thing for the Rays, and they can get their future sorted out, either fix Tropicana Field or do something, but the problem is, even that is going to take some time. They just came out the other day with the $56 million and 1+ year estimate. What if they don't move on that for another 6 months? Now you're only kicking the can down the road. If they act quick on that, and this is only a 2025 thing, okay, all things considered, the natural disaster, the roof coming off Tropicana Field, this isn't the worst case scenario. They can get through this if it's a year. If it's 2 years, if it's 3 years, if they never play a game again at the Trop, which is still possible, this gets ugly. And it's even uglier for Major League Baseball now that you have officially 2 American League teams playing in minor league facilities with no bridges built to whatever lies ahead. I mean that in a sense that the A's are going to Sacramento. They don't have Las Vegas, as of this moment, squared away. And until shovels are in the ground, and actually really until the stadium is built, it's not squared away. And the same thing here in Tampa and St. Pete. Until they've got a new home for the Rays sorted out and they're just going to go to this minor league facility for the interim for the time being, you don't know where the end of the interim is. You don't know where this bridge lets you off at. It's a difficult situation to go into. And also single seasons like this, I do believe they can impact a team's future in a sense of free agency for 1 year, or how about very limited income for this year for the Rays. I mentioned before that their attendance number is not far from 11,000. And again, I don't even know what the total number was. I should have looked that up before I started recording this. But the point is, they can never have 24,000 at a game in 2025. They can never have 31,000. They can never have the giveaway day where they make up for all the lesser attended games. They can never have catch-up day. One season like this can cost them a significant amount and then set them back on free agency, set them back on a lot of things. And also, if you get into the schedule part of it, I mentioned the weather and the outdoors. What if you had to reschedule 6 games, 6 home games, and now the Rays had to play 6 more in-season doubleheaders? What a huge headache. Not just for the Rays, but opponents and travel schedules, and this is stuff that they just never had to deal with because of the roof at Tropicana Field, and now they're having to deal with it in this temporary situation. So kind of a mixed bag of things here with Steinbrenner Field. Again, not the worst option, probably the most obvious option, makes the most sense for everybody. They were able to strike this deal, so congratulations to them whenever they officially announce it. But this is going to have an interesting look. Again, we're talking about this right here, right now in November of 2024, but come March and April and May of 2025, when we're seeing this in reality, I think it's going to set in a totally different way than we're just talking about it here in the start of the offseason. All right, that's the end of this video and quick update. I appreciate you for making it all the way to the end. Thumbs up down below greatly helps me and this video and this channel. And if you would, take one quick second before this is over, go down there and make sure that you are already subscribed to this channel. That way I can definitely see you back here next time.